The latest ticket, am I going to get it? Put it on. The latest ticket is this one. This is President Mahama's ticket from what we are hearing. KSLR 2 the finance minister. So when he comes to present the budget next week, 2 weeks from now, watch his body language. He's been told that if he's able to continue to do what he's doing until the end of next year, he will be the anointed inheritance holder of the President Mahama NDC leadership legacy. Who is going to be his running mate? The other favorite of John Dramani Mahama, our good friend John Jinapor, Member of Parliament and Minister for Energy. The two ways that the NDC would like to say they've been doing well in government so far, one of them will be energy and the other will be finance. In finance, there's disputed opinion about recently the government didn't get a threshold on the treasury bill, local treasury bill market, and some opponents of the government were saying there's an indication that there's no confidence, blah, blah, blah. Whatever you say, Atu will tell you that the CD was 17, it is 10, it's a feather in his cap. Atu will tell you that gold reserves have gone here, it's a feather in his cap. Atu will tell you that petroleum prices have been stabilized, it's a feather in his cap. Don't ask him about the price of kinky, don't ask him about the price of bread, don't ask him about the price of biscuits. He doesn't know, but he has major macro indicators to point out to you that he's done well. And the analyzing institutions, Fitch and all of these people are giving Ghana B+ and all of that. So yes, KSLR 2 is firmly focused on becoming the leader of the NDC, the presidential candidate of the NDC going forward to the 2028 election. And his running mate is John Abdullahi Jinapor. He's a Christian from Gonja. He's a member of parliament, minister for energy, former deputy minister for energy, now minister for energy, former spokesperson of Vice President John Dramani Mahama. So you know they have an excellent and very close relationship. They call him JJ in parliament, and he's the deal. The two of them are the president's tickets. Forget about everything else. This is the president's ticket. Atu number 1 and John Jinapor number 2. Let's roll on to some of the other new tickets that are coming into the NDC conversation. What's next for us? Let's move on to the next one. No, I know this one. This one people know. Let's move to the next one. I'll come back to this in a minute. Now, I'll still come back to this in a minute. The other one. Yes. This is the other one. So there's a growing conversation among NDC cadres. I don't know where the cadres still stand in the NDC conversation. 25 years ago, the cadres were very strong. Over the last 10 years, I don't know where the cadre thing goes. I mean, many of the cadres have sort of stepped aside. Martin Amidu is a bit old now. He's in his house and he's one of the important cadres. He's not as active as he used to be. But the cadre group who want to resurrect the cadre situation because they believe that the cadre thing is anti-corruption, the cadre thing is a wee-wee situation, the cadre thing is proper socialism, almost communism, and that's the only way the NDC can keep its difference from the NPP. The cadre group are still very concerned that the NDC looks too much like the NPP, and Rawlings used to talk about that if you remember, that the NDC is looking too much like the NPP, that the NPP are a right-wing political party, let them look like how they look like, and the NDC must look very different. NDC should not have the kind of scandals MPP have. If MPP are sharing money somewhere, you shouldn't find NDC people doing the same thing. That group of people who believe that the longevity of the NDC will be preserved by returning to the principles of cadre, probity, accountability, transparency, that group of people are beginning the conversation, what about Guzi Tano? So, now I work for Guzi Tano. I was his publicist in the year 2000 when he did the Reform Party. So I was with him almost on a daily basis, and I was a publicist. What does that mean? So I published their stories. You know, they were a small political party. So I had to take permission from my news editor at Joy FM that I would like to be bringing reform stories. They laughed at me and they said, okay, why not? And so Guzi had 2 offices, one in Asylum Down. Those of you who live in Accra, I can show you the place near Gedeli's office. And there was another one in Ridge, North Ridge, where WellSpace used to be. His brother was MD of WellSpace at the time, so we meet there. And the sheer level of intellectual conversation of these guys, I mean, if you're young as I was at that time, you should consider yourself privileged to be in that kind of conversation. You should hear Guzi having a conversation about governance with Peter Podube. And oh my goodness, these guys were smart. I was so excited when I met with them and when I engaged with them, and I was excited about the future of the country. Chocho Opoku is one brilliant guy. Forget about law. Chocho knows everything, not just law. Mijay Bano. I mean, they were really, really solid guys. Sam Gaba was with them. I think the generation is gone. The election 2000 didn't help them. Professor Mills brought them back to the NDC. They played a big role in Professor Mills' victory, and I believe that they have played a big role in President Mahama's victory in 2016 as well. Guzi has to overcome the 24-hour economy situation. We must see the 24-hour economy thrive. I'm not sure whether we're going to see that in the first 4 years of President Mahama's administration. I was listening to Nimoy Thompson on Bernard Avle's show, The Point of View, and he was talking about how 24-hour economy is already captured in the NDP's agenda, etc., etc. Very, very, very interesting interview. I like that interview when I saw it on Monday night, I think. Now, Guzi here is now being pushed to be the NDC flag bearer. And the NDC people are being told that if you really want to go back to be NDC so that you're not like MPP and you're going to be booted out of office one day like the MPP was booted out of office, and you want to continue to do the things MPP did so that you end up the way MPP ended up, then it's up to you. But if you want to come to the principles and the ethos of the National Democratic Congress, your best man is Augustus Tano. So that's a President Mahama is not against the ticket, but it is not his favorite ticket. His favorite ticket will show you what it is. So the Guzi one is coming. We're just building up the story. We'll be giving you the inside details. They called me to tell me, you know, Adom, you did. Then they give me the filler. So, okay. Now, this is the other ticket that we talked about. The Julius Debra ticket has always been there. It's always been there. And it's a formidable ticket. Now, the tickets are gaining support by naming running mates. So if I go back here, you will see that the president's ticket has a running mate already sorted. So it is easier to sell to the party folks when you are saying, this is going as number one, this is as number two. It makes people feel that, oh yeah, that's a good ticket. We like it. It's great. It's, you know, I think that, I don't know whether it's good or bad, but over the last few years of our election cycles, the position of the running mate has become very important. It didn't used to be as important. I mean, in 2000, people have forgotten who was Professor Mills's running mate. It was Martin Amidu. In 2004, people have forgotten who was Professor Mills's running mate. It was Mohamed Mumuni. So the running mate thing was not a big deal. It was the Nana Akufo-Addo choice of Mahamadou Bawumia that brought the running mate thing to the big conversation. If you read our book here, the way in which Kufuor chose his running mate, Alhaji Aliyu Mahama, it was very simple. It was a very simple conversation. Aliyu was set up as a committee chairman to find a running mate for Kufuor. Find, he couldn't find. General Hamidu got his running mate agenda busted on Joy FM by Tony Edu, whose video we showed you recently, and I think I'll get that video for you soon. And so when Hamidu left, Aliyu Mahama was left with a few weeks to get a running mate, you know. And then Kufuor said, what about you, Alhaji? Blah, blah, blah. And then he became. So the running mate was not that detailed. But now it has become very, very important on our tickets. We're almost becoming like the United States. You know, how Walter Mondale became running mates to, was it George Bush? It was a very complicated, long, drawn-out conversation in the American Republican Party politics over there. So people are now putting the running mate forward so that you can get you can get a sense of where the ticket is going. So that's the president tickets. Now here, so the Julius Debra people are beginning to craft a running mate for Wafa Julius. And guess what they are talking about? They are talking about Senator Rawlings. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. That, no, we are going with Julius, and Julius will pick Senator for the running mate. So guys, let's come and rally behind this. This is a young ticket. It's vibrant. It's sexy. It's beautiful. And I can assure you, most of the arts and entertainment people who helped the NDC to win the 2024 elections are on this ticket. So talk of Fred Nyama, Kofi Ocho-Dako, all of them, all the musicians, everybody who helped the NDC from the arts and entertainment side, Jifa Danku, blah, blah, blah. Is that your name? Abena Danku or something? Yes, see. All of those people are on the Julius ticket. And all of them are excited about the Dr. Rawlings running mate. That's a sexy ticket. We're going to go on a walk. And we're going to be holding dumbbells. And we're going to sing from victory on to. Everybody's holding a dumbbell. And it's going to be nice. I mean, God give us life over the next 3 years. Ghana is going to be very beautiful. If you're a political reporter, you're in the best business. Okay. My producer wants me to move on. That's why he's put Eric Opoku there. So Eric Opoku has always been the other ticket. Okay. Now, Eric Opoku is formidable because he has gravitas. He's on the ground. He has gravitas. He's Minister for Agriculture. So don't write Minister of Agriculture off. Don't write them off. Eric Opoku is formidable to the extent that she has full backing from the First Lady, Lordina Mahama. This is Lordina Mahama's ticket. That's Eric Opoku. That's Lordina's ticket. And Lordina is happy to back Eric Opoku. They think that he's a calm guy. He doesn't antagonize anybody. He's a real politician. He distinguishes himself as minister. He was a minister for Works and Housing the other time. No issues of corruption. He's a minister who focuses on his work. That's Eric Opoku. So he also is in the race. Now bring Jenan Opoku-Agyeman. Let's deal with it. Okay. Now the Jenan Opoku-Agyeman ticket is getting long. I don't know how we'll break it down. Anyway, the Jenan Opoku-Agyeman ticket has an interesting twist to it. It is a ticket that is marshaled by Samuel Ofosu-Ampofo. Now, people don't know Samuel Ofosu-Ampofo that well. Now, I had studied Samuel Ofosu-Ampofo since 1997 when he was a student in Accra Poly. I had friends there, so I'll go there. And I observed the way he was marshalling people to support the NDC ticket. At that time, he was a parliamentary candidate. And he defeated some heavyweights. I think it was Professor Adofenin. Professor Adofenin was the head of history department at the University of Ghana. Powerful guy. And he was running at Fantiakwa for the New Patriotic Party. Fantiakwa is a seat that was held by Jones Oforiatta. Oh, bring back Ofosu-Ampofo, I'm not done. Fantiakwa was a seat that was held by Jones Oforiatta, a stalwart of the NPP. And then this was Adofeni contesting for Fantiakwa with a young man, Ofosu-Ampofo. Ofosu-Ampofo who defeated Adofeni and everybody was surprised. So Ofosu-Ampofo is a very powerful political actor, but he also understands that you can have enemies in your own party. Why do I say that? I say that because I believe it's 2012, Ofosu-Ampofo was contesting parliament, not in Fantiakwa, but in Tema. And he was running against Irene Natoshi. Oh my goodness, I wish they had Irene Natoshi's photograph. They'll put it on. Irene Natoshi is the kind of politician that has support in both NDC and MPP. She's an MPP woman, but she has such massive support in NDC, you can't understand it. Irene Atoshi is a real big deal when it comes to grassroots politics. I know her because we lived in the same neighborhood in Sakumon. I visit her all the time and I see the political operations that she conducts. Never underestimate that lady. Irene Atoshi is a powerful political operator. You can think of Irene Atoshi as a John Boydo or anything else. Forget about the fact that she's a woman and she's a nice, distinguished lawyer and all of that. When it comes to the grassroots politics, you can't put Irene away. Irene secured some support from important NDC people to defeat Ofosu Ampofu in the Tema constituency in the 2012 election and was elected to parliament. Ofosu Ampofu was not elected to parliament, even though the NDC won the election. Ofosu Ampofu at that time was Minister for Local Government, and he was running as one constituency as Minister for Local Government. Irene Atoshi was a young woman coming into politics and defeated him with the support of key NDC people. Some of them are still alive, so I don't want to mention their names. Very, very powerful NDC people supported Irene Atoshi to defeat Ofosu Ampofu in 2012 in Tema. I was there. Now, Ofosu Ampofu is coming back to marshal the campaign of Professor Jenano Opoku-Agyeman, and you can't underestimate that. Ofosu Ampofu is also angry. He has a wound. What is the wound? His wound is that the eternal general secretary of the party, his very, very close friend, Johnson Asedun Katia, took out a form to challenge him as chairman. Not just challenge him, but Asedun Katia actually defeated him. That's a wound Ofosu Ampofu carries. He carries the political wounds are carried by people for the longest time. I mean, Ronald Reagan and people carry their political wounds for a long time in Ghana. We know the political wounds that people carry. So he carries that political wound. Okay. He is determined that Johnson Asedun Katia, having upstaged him as the chairman of the party, should not and should never become the leader of the party.